Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Exploration Archive. We left James Cook last time, and as the ship sailed on, the crew knew they were rewriting the maps of the world. Today we pick up where we left off. The Endeavour departed the bay, its hold lighter with specimens and journals, a testament to our relentless pursuit of knowledge. But as we sailed away, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. What had begun as meticulous observation quickly morphed into a race to chart the unknown. We were no longer just explorers. We were agents of empire, laying claim to territories few Europeans had dared to imagine, driven by ambition and curiosity alike. This was not merely a journey. It was a calculated mission to stake our claim on a world ripe for discovery.
But claiming these lands came with a heavy cost. The crew's work was filled with tension, not just in the act of mapping, but in the heart of their encounters with local populations. Many of these first contacts were marked by misunderstandings and conflicts, often instigated by the crew's assumptions. It wasn't merely exploration, it was an intrusion.
Absolutely. The deck transformed into a bustling workshop for mapping. They employed triangulations, sounded depths, and sketched hurriedly on scrap paper. As they worked, it became clear that they were imposing European perspectives on territories that were rich with their own complex histories. We can't ignore that. These landscapes were not blank slates waiting for our ink. Each mark they made was a claim of ownership, a rewriting of stories that had existed long before our maps were drawn.
And that's where the moral ambiguity lies. The crew might have been charting new territories, but they were also erasing the stories of those who lived there. Each encounter altered the lives of local inhabitants, often without their consent. The act of naming and claiming was a violent one, transforming their land into mere coordinates on a map.
True, but let's not forget the sheer audacity of their task. The first weeks of coastal work were tactile and exact. They measured harbors from the quarterdeck, taking in the beauty of unfamiliar landforms. We can almost picture their excitement as they charted new waters. Every wave carried the promise of what lay ahead. As they claimed these distant shores, they laid the foundations for something vast. Expansion isn't just a strategy. It's a relentless pursuit of power and influence.
Expansion at what cost, Aurelius? Those landforms you mentioned were once vibrant homes to people with rich cultures and traditions. The crew's sense of wonder often overshadowed the harsh reality of their intrusion. You can't just admire the beauty of the landscape without acknowledging the lives that were forever altered by their presence. Each valley, each river, held stories and memories that were lost. We need to remember that progress can come at a heavy price.
Fair point. The encounters varied greatly. Some were marked by cautious curiosity, where both sides shared glances and exchanged words, while others erupted into violence out of fear or misunderstanding. The weight of unequal technologies played a significant role in these interactions. After all, a musket's crack echoed far louder than any friendly gesture. We must remember that in these moments, both hope and hostility were often just a heartbeat apart, shaping the destinies of nations.
And those violent encounters weren't just numbers on a page. They were real human lives shattered, and families left to pick up the pieces. The toll of violence weighed heavily on both the crew and the local community. I can still remember the coppery smell of blood, and the stunned silence that followed each conflict, a haunting reminder of the cost. This journey was shaped not only by incredible discoveries, but also by the deep scars of destruction that lingered long after.
Then came the most severe test of their journey. The Endeavour struck an unseen, sunken reef, a hidden danger lurking beneath the waves. In that instant, their confidence in the carefully recorded charts dissolved into chaos. They realized they were no longer masters of the sea, but rather at its mercy. Panic spread among the crew, and the once steady rhythm of their voyage turned into a frantic scramble for survival. The ocean, it seemed, had other plans.
That moment really showed how fragile their sense of control was. Below decks, the surgeon's lamp swung back and forth, casting shadows on the chaos unfolding. The smell of damp wood mixed with the rising panic in the air. Men were working tirelessly in that dark space, their lives hanging by a thread. Every cut, every nail, depended on their quick thinking and skilled hands. It was a race against time, and they knew it all came down to this.
Yes, the crew faced the relentless reality of their situation, and it was a harsh one. They moved to a sheltered inlet for repairs, but that offered little comfort. Every day, they lived under the constant risk of disaster. A leak could widen at any moment, storms could strike without warning, and the sea was unforgiving. This was not just exploration. It was survival. They had to adapt quickly, or they'd be swallowed whole by the very ocean they sought to conquer.
And yet, even amid that danger, they produced cartographic revelations. The precision of their mapping turned vague conjectures into solid lines. But the irony is striking. The very act of mapping claimed lands they did not own. Their charts would alter trade winds of exploration, but at what cost to those who already called those places home?
As they sailed onward, we found ourselves burdened with pressed specimens and a ledger filled with our encounters. The balance of wonder and risk had shifted, tipping precariously. The decisions made during those months had already unsettled lives on both sides of the ocean. The ship bore on, but the consequences of our journey were just beginning to reveal themselves. We'd opened doors without fully understanding what lay beyond them, and now we had to face the unfolding reality of our actions.
That's where we leave it this time. James Cook continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Exploration Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.